Deal or No Deal seminar.
It's happening at Columbia College, Chicago on April 3rd from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Ferguson Theater, 600 South Michigan. Our panel will include a behind-the-scenes look at the stories of the lives that run the music business. On our guest panel, we have Lenny Santiago in from New York City, A&R Def Jam Records, left-hand man to El Presidente, Mr. Jay-Z himself. We have Don DiNapoli, Street to Sweet promoter, holla at your boy in New York, our standard represent.
Deal or No Deal.
What are some of the most rewarding experiences with artists or labels that you guys have had throughout your careers?
I mean, I have countless memories of incredible stories that are really what inspired me to stay in this business. That's, one of the biggest reasons why I left that secure, contracted job at a record company was because of the artist. But, being at Bruce Springsteen's house, hearing him and what inspired The Rising after 9/11, him playing those songs, that was a milestone moment in my life.
We just did an interview with Zach Katz. I don't know if you guys know, he represents High Tech and J.R. Rodham. I work a lot of production stuff. And the final note that he gave us in this interview was, if you're not patient in this game, this is not for you.
A writer last year, a guy named Adrian Marshall, he's Jamaican, he's like the coolest guy. And he wrote half of the Sean Paul's Temperature. And I'd heard the song around and everything. I knew it was on the charts, but then I saw the year-end Billboard charts, and it was like the third biggest song in the country. Like the ringtone sales on this thing alone were off the charts. It was ridiculous. He got his first ASCAP check, and he called me, and he was so happy. Like,
and choosing where I went to go with Rockefeller Records, and along the way, Jay didn't really become big until Volume 2, which is his third album. So along the way, I still have my mother asking me what I'm doing, and my grandmother saying, what am I messing with music for? And my mother or father would hand me applications for the New York Transit, and just a whole bunch of that kind of stuff. And it's like they really didn't get it. They didn't really know who he is. They didn't really probably even care who he was until, like I said, Volume 2 came out and sold 6 million records, and it like changed everybody's perspective on who this guy was and who I worked for and where I was. And that was the most rewarding thing for me.
How do you feel like living in Chicago you can best break in with A&Rs? Like I've developed some relationships through email. Some people like my stuff, but the vast majority of the emails I send out, I get no response.
Getting with the people locally who are, I don't know if you know John Monopoly, there's always going to be somebody locally who's that much more connected, that much more in touch with people in the music business, whether it be New York, Atlanta, LA, than you are. Whoever the hot local DJ is, the hot local rapper. Are you a producer?
Yeah.
Get with the local rapper, do trap. Both of you are trying to meet the same goal.
What do you consider a good contract? Like, have you ever witnessed an artist sign a contract that they didn't understand? Or
the most awesome one I ever saw was these guys gave up 70% of everything that they were going to get, including and all their publishing. It was awesome, man. Like this guy, his manager fleeced these dudes, and this is a local group, like one of the biggest local groups out of Chicago. Actually signed this contract. It was with a radio DJ that helped break their stuff here in town, and he got them under this management contract. And you got to remember, once you sign a contract like that, all the money goes to the guy who signed the contract. If you're a grown human being and you sign a bad contract, the courts are going to look at it as, were you insane? If you weren't insane, then you obviously meant to do this thing, even though it's bad and it's not, it's not wasn't the right thing for you to do at the time. So all the money went to this manager, and so they had no money to hire an attorney. They weren't able to take the thing to court, so it just stood like that. It's still like that to this day because they didn't have the cash they needed to get out of the thing. So yeah, oh yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think it was lack of not having an appropriate entertainment attorney with them, or?
Yeah, it was just like a lack of
Lack of knowledge,
looking
lack
at the
of-
contract before they signed it, basically, yeah.
What do you think is the approach of the DJ in the music industry?
It means everything. Most of the best producers were DJs. I mean, to me, on a hip hop level, they're the nucleus of the group. They usually hold them together. Even on a personal relationship, they make the tracks. They usually set.
Mixtape DJs too.
I think mixtape DJs are best to break new artists. If you look at any region, DJ Drama helped break Jeezy. Miami, DJ Khaled broke Rick Ross. In New York, DJ Clues broke in 20 artists, including Fabulous. K Slade broke Papoose. Like, DJs are mixtape DJs are the most important, I think, in breaking artists, because everybody follows those mixtapes, and once that DJ features an artist on there, one or two artists, the people they're gonna follow suit.
What's the best way to build a bridge and approach you, to build a relationship from a businessman to another businessman perspective?
That's why I come to these things, just for these reasons, to get out, to reach out to the people. I don't sit in New York and just hope it's all gonna come to me. I travel anywhere, anybody calls me, the drop of a dime. I didn't even know King David. He reached out a few times, he spoke, found out Don was involved. I have a great relationship with Don, and that's all it takes for me. I'm gonna be there regardless. If I'm not in your city or your town, call up. I usually try to answer most emails I get, or take as many phone calls as I can. But just ways like this. Got it. You got the connection. Now it's on you.
There we go. All right, let's do a round of applause to our panelists. Thank you for coming out today. We're going to stick around for a couple minutes if you'd like to come up and
This is another Beef Fanatic banger.
Now tuned into the motherfucking greatest.
Deal or No Deal Showcase. Want to send a big shout to my man King David, Goliath, and my man Jay, and even my man Mike on the camera.